Have you ever thought about how old wisdom can still help us today? Looking back at the past, can it make us healthier and happier? What if these ancient ideas could actually improve your life right now? They are not just two old stories. They're like keys that can unlock new ways for us to feel good and stay healthy in our busy lives. This journey is more than just learning. It's about making real changes in our lives, changes that start from within and affect everything we do. We encourage you to watch the entire video, having 2 stories and 10 rules for improvement of your health in the end. It's filled with valuable insights that can significantly impact your life. Let's begin with first story. Once upon a time, there lived a Buddhist monk in India who was renowned for providing solutions to health problems, particularly those that were repetitive and persistent. He gained fame for his ability to address health issues in a simple and natural manner, without relying on medicines or complex procedures. One day, a young man approached the monk, seeking a cure for his repeated stomach pain. The doctors advise him on some medicines, do some procedures, and ask him to go home, saying you are fine, and it is because of some temporary infection, and otherwise you are fine. It gets relieved for the time being and gets repeated after some time. He took his case to different doctors, homeopathy, allopathy, etc., but to no avail. Despite numerous visits to hospitals and consultations with various doctors, the young man's condition remained unresolved. His real issue could not be diagnosed by even famous doctors. He got frustrated and sought help from all the ongoers. One day, someone told him to see the Buddhist monk for help. He wasn't sure if the monk could really help him, but he decided to give it a try because he had already tried many other things. Initially skeptical, the young man presented his case to the monk, who listened attentively, and then the young man prayed for help. The monk asked certain simple questions about his diet and asked him to keep a detailed record of his daily food intake for the next 3 months, along with any ailments he experienced during that time, and return to him after 3 months. The monk emphasized the importance of recording every food item consumed, even when dining elsewhere. The young man thought it was strange that the monk didn't suggest any medicine. Even though he wasn't happy about it, he decided to do what the monk said because he didn't have any other options. The young man diligently recorded his daily food intake, experiencing stomach pain 6 times over 3 months and seeking interim solutions from doctors. Despite his struggles, he managed to compile a detailed 3-month record and sought guidance from the Buddhist monk. The monk asked to show the 3-month record. Presenting his diary to the monk, he explained his 6 episodes of stomach pain and hospitalizations. Monk carefully reviewed the record, noting common foods consumed before each instance of pain in particular. The monk observed for the common food item that he has consumed before getting stomach pain in each of the 6 occasions he got stomach pain. The young man was observing the monk carefully, thinking what he can deduce from the daily food intake, if at all. The monk, after a few minutes, said with a smile, "Got it, for God's sake." The young man was perplexed and asked the monk, "What was it?" The monk said it was capsicum, and do you like it? The young man said, "I liked capsicum curry, and that is one of my favorite food items. If so, what?" The monk smiled and said, "The solution to your problem lies in capsicum." More intrigued, the young man asked how. The monk said, "I observed that whenever you consume capsicum on the 6 occasions, you got stomachache. Better, you avoid capsicum for life, as it's allergic to you. This will help you in resolving the problem." "Is it as simple as that?" the young man asked. The monk smiled and said, "Yes, my dear young man, that's it." The monk explained, "Every person is allergic to certain food items, which are natural but cause ill health whenever consumed frequently. The solution is to identify the food item that triggers your allergies and avoid it for life. The young man thanked the monk and returned home with this new knowledge, avoiding capsicum. A few days later, he reported to the monk that he had again suffered from stomach pain, despite avoiding capsicum at the restaurant that day. The monk advised the young man to call the restaurant and inquire if capsicum was served. To his surprise, the young man discovered that the gravy he had consumed contained capsicum as an ingredient. Now, understanding the power of the monk's suggestion, he thanked him profusely and became more careful when dining out, inquiring about the contents of food items. Of course, for him it may be capsicum. For you, it may be a different food item that is allergic. Certainly, what triggers allergic reactions may vary from person to person. It's a profound lesson for all of us. So, you are also advised to identify 1 or 2 foods that you are allergic to and try to avoid them for life. A year later, a frustrated mother approached a Buddhist monk, stating her problem. Her daughter, aged 5 years, repeatedly gets colds. The mother attributes the reason for the colds to her daughter consuming more chocolates despite her instructions not to. Using medicine to avoid or cure a cold is of no avail to her. Many doctors examined her and concluded that she was perfectly fine, experiencing only temporary infections. Meanwhile, another challenging experience she faces is that other students are reluctant to sit near her daughter, fearing they might also get infected. The worried mother seeks a permanent cure for her daughter's cold. The Buddhist monk inquired about the dietary habits of her daughter. The mother explained carefully in detail about the food, intake, and other particulars. The monk asked certain simple questions about her daughter's diet and asked her to keep a detailed record of her daughter's daily food intake for the next 3 months, along with any ailments she experienced during that time, and returned to him after 3 months. He advised not to give her any cold beverages, colas, cold water, ice cream, chocolates during these 3 months. The mother could not understand how this would help her in any way. However, with no resolve by the other doctors, she agreed to comply with the requirement. Anyway, what she wants is a permanent solution to her problem. The mother diarized the food intake of the daughter for 3 months. She also recorded the ailments she got during this period. She strictly avoided the cold items or the usual suspect chocolates. Certainly, the daughter experienced repetitive colds that don't seem to subside despite taking precautions like avoiding cold water, ice cream, or other cold items. The worried mother approached the monk after 3 months, along with relevant data on the food intake of the daughter. The monk perused the dairy and sighed for a while. In the first instance, he could not find any connection between the ailment and the food intake from the dairy. He thought once again, perusing the food intake record meticulously. The mother could not infer anything from the expressions of the monk. Patiently, she asked, "Any solution to my problem?" The monk gently smiled and asked whether she gave curd to her daughter. The mother said, "Of course, yes." The monk asked, "Is it kept in the fridge overnight?" She replied, "Yes, obviously every Indian mom does so." The monk said, "That's it." Yes, some people indeed experience repetitive colds that don't seem to subside despite taking precautions, like avoiding cold water, ice cream, or other cold items. Mothers may feel embarrassed or frustrated when their children continue to suffer from colds despite their efforts to prevent them, sometimes even suspecting chocolate as the culprit and avoiding it altogether for their children. However, the root cause of these persistent colds may not always be obvious. In some cases, consuming frozen curd or yogurt daily could be a contributing factor. Many people consume curd regularly to mitigate heat generated in the body, but they may not realize that consuming frozen curd could actually exacerbate cold symptoms. The solution to this problem is relatively simple. Instead of consuming frozen curd, individuals can ferment milk in an earthen clay pot overnight to make fresh curd or yogurt. Using a clay pot for fermentation can enhance the taste of the curd and prevent it from becoming too sour. This alternative method avoids the potential negative effects of consuming frozen curd and may help alleviate cold symptoms in some individuals. Indeed, it's been observed that consuming curd made in a clay pot can have additional benefits beyond just avoiding cold symptoms. Individuals who use curd from a clay pot may find that they can enjoy ice cream or chocolate without experiencing adverse effects. This suggests that the practice of fermenting curd in a clay pot could be beneficial for everyone, not just those who suffer from severe colds. The health benefits of using a clay pot for fermenting curd may extend to improving overall well-being and digestion for individuals who incorporate this practice into their routine. Therefore, it's recommended that everyone consider adopting this procedure as part of a healthy lifestyle. The mother was delighted with the monk's advice and followed it diligently. As a result, her daughter's cold issue was resolved, and she never experienced it again. The mother was amazed to see that her daughter could enjoy chocolates and ice creams without any adverse effects. In the end, the monk explained that the following 10 principles preserve your health, and the body will cure its own diseases without medicines. Meditation, positive thinking, self-love, care, mindful eating, healthy routines and habits, embracing nature for healing, simplifying for wellness, harnessing the subconscious mind, understanding limitations and opportunities of modern medicine, empowerment through self-healing. These 2 stories demonstrate how being mindful of our bodies and analyzing our habits can help us maintain good health. It's also important to watch out for foods that might make us sick and keep track of what we eat to stay well. If you find these insights helpful, consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video.